Samaher is an 11-year-old Palestinian. Despite her age and her childish looks, Samaher has known enough sorrow to last a lifetime. When she was 6, her father was imprisoned. Her mother had already left home, and her grandfather, Yassin, was forced to live in Gaza following his involvement in illegal armed activity. Her grandmother in Shira took her from her home in Bethlehem in the West Bank to visit Yassin in Gaza. When Inshira suddenly died in Gaza, Samaher had no choice but to live with Yassin.
When I was in prison, I wanted her to live with her grandfather, but when I was released a month ago, I asked that she come back to me. The Israelis refused.
Samaher remembers her time in Gaza fondly, but something was always missing.
He was behind bars and I missed him very much. I wanted to grow up with him. He was my father.
I used to communicate with her through letters. I sent her 2 letters a week. In jail, mobile phones are forbidden, so I didn't speak with her for 5 years, the entire period of my incarceration.
Because Samaher arrived in Gaza with her grandmother as legal guardian, she was entangled in bureaucratic arguments which prevented her return to Bethlehem.
After I was released, I spoke with ministers and with journalists so that they will help me.
And then something unexpected happened.
There was a news item at the internet and the local Palestinian newspapers, and then the president got aware of it, and he asked me to move on it. I called the Israeli coordinator for the government in the territories, Palestinian territories, and he was extremely responsive in a very, very expeditious fashion, with the knowledge of the Prime Minister and the President that this girl should come tomorrow.
Rare cooperation between the Israeli and Palestinian leaders gave Samaher the opportunity to go back to Bethlehem after 6 years.
I'm happy, but not so much. I lost my grandmother here and I'm leaving my relatives behind. God willing, they'll return home to Bethlehem too.
Now Samaher is back with her father and cousins. Despite her long absence, her neighbours still remember her from her toddler days.
Sure, I remember her. This is Samaher. She grew up with her grandfather while her father was in prison. She's grown up and today is slimmer than she used to be.
Despite all the commotion around her, Samaher's feet are firmly planted. If things go her way, she knows exactly what she wants to be when she's older.
Ever since I was little, I wanted to be a doctor. This profession, more than any other, will protect my life.
And in case she can't afford it, Saeb Barakat has already promised Samaher he'll pay her tuition fees.